Well, give it a second. Jesus Christ. Hiya. We're trying to go YouTubing as well.
Oh, you were trying to go live as well?
Yes, yes.
From YouTube or Facebook?
YouTube.
Is it working? Is it working?
It says yes, it says live. We're live.
Oh,
Is it?
is that the open?
Yes. That's nothing. Okay. Let's see. Come on. Technology, work for me. So yes, it's live. Okay, give it a sec. Nothing? We're out of time. Right. So let's see. Let's go here, let's go here.
You have a site for that in YouTube?
Yes, yes.
It's got a nice link though. Is there a short?
Yeah, it's no, it's just a string of numbers and letters. There's no any. We don't have slash the name.
Okay.
Let me see. So how do we find our? Do we share it?
Do I send you? Can I send it to you on screen as well?
Live now, we're live.
What is it?
Can you? How can we be live without seeing anything? What kind of live is that?
Not really.
What kind of live is that? Is that?
No, I couldn't find it.
I can't see it either.
Right, so you go to YouTube and you search for automated IT solutions.
Automated IT solution.
Yes. Oh, wow, we are like.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, look, I can't see mine.
Live now. You go to home and you say live now. Click on live now and you get it. Right? There is one word. Sorry.
No space.
No. Fix it yourself.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yep.
Oh, yep. That's good.
It's some seconds delay. And the microphone is really good, right?
The speaker and the projector also goes, Jesus Christ. That's good. Well done, man.
Yeah, so it didn't come to 10 minutes. I need a beer.
It's just the three of us, we've got lots of years.
Yep. Okay.
One of my favorites. I've added this to my favorites.
Okay. So this way we are live, and then the videos stay there.
Yeah.
So that's why we chose YouTube, or we could have chose Facebook as well, but I think YouTube was more professional.
Yeah, more professional, yes.
That's good. Okay. Would you like to drink something? Get some water? Or, of course, beer. Beer. Do you have beer? Walking like an Egyptian.
That's cool, man. Well done.
Yeah, it's half the room, right? This is with these legs.
Yeah.
So it's perfect. Yes, these speakers. This is the second time I was doing something else. Oh.
For viewers.
These are. Yeah, I think these are beers, but I'm not sure. So if you go to log into the network, my phone's network, right, which is MOFO, and the password is 128 and 59. Now
Why do you want me to do that?
oh, if you want.
Alright.
If you don't,
Go for it, it's cool.
Oh no, because you can see that. You can pause, you can stop. We have the pattern, I do that here.
That's cool, huh?
Where do you got your jacket?
I use it.
Two people, right? That's no bad.
Look at lots of beer.
Yeah, and pizza as well. Pizza. I don't know how many pizzas did they got for 35 people. £69. Thanks, though. Yeah, you're welcome. There's a beautiful is it here? It says 6 o'clock, right? Just check that. Yeah, it says 6. Yeah. Yeah, it says there's Yeah, I have plenty. It's not too terrible. It's alright. What is it? What? It's this. So that's possible. I work around to see where I like. Do you want to know the hot window is okay? Is it boiling? Alright, so guys, we're going to give 5 minutes and then we'll start, okay?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quite a lot more people coming now.
Yeah, there were like 35 people.
Yeah.
I saw at around 3:30, 38.
Yeah, right, okay.
38 people.
So, I don't know. Maybe they're in the pub around the corner. Dawn. It's going offline. So do you mind sitting here and pressing this button? Every half an hour. Just I don't know what's going on. No. I need to help right there. I don't know why it's doing that now, but it's going to sleep. So is this just any button but this thing here? Yes, just a bit. Okay. No, you don't let it
So far I've been pretty much trying to test
Okay. Right, let's start, right? Hi guys. I think we're going to start. We'll go some introductions, and probably some more people are going to join us during the presentation. So first of all, thank you for coming. My name is John Pikulas, and this is the second Jenkins jam we're doing. Kay supporting us and hosting this, and they're very kind for that. The first one that we went through, one of the feedback we had was it's probably going to be nice to go through the room and do some brief introductions of who's doing what, their names as well. So you can just say your name and you can say what you do and where you're working or where we're working. So as I said, my name is John Pikulas. I'm working as a DevOps engineer, an architect, technical architect in Registers of Scotland just now. We're going through a transformation program that we're planning to go live with OpenShift and Docker and all these nice technologies. So that's me.
Hi guys, my name is Venkata. I worked as a defect manager for CGI. I was under contract till December, and I'm free now and looking out for new contracts.
Yeah. My name's Lorna. I work at Tesco Bank as a QA engineer, so doing test automation.
My name's Rob. I'm a software engineer who's just about to take the plunge into test automation, and I'll be starting at Registers of Scotland next week.
Wow!
So I'll come and talk to you afterwards.
Daniel, I work just around the corner in Anarchy Software. I work with developers.
Okay.
Maria, I work at software.
Okay.
My name is Neil. I work at Tesco Bank also, and I'm technical manager delivering software.
Okay.
I'm David, and I work myself. I'm do web development, but I want to do some more automation and testing things.
All right.
So they stay up the website.
Okay, that's nice. It's always good, eh?
I haven't had problems so far, but I'm always trying to improve the quality going forward.
Okay.
I'm Mark. I'm a DevOps engineer. I'm currently in between contracts at the moment.
Okay. How about you?
I'm Donald. I work with
Patros. Yep. So, guys, we're going around just introducing ourselves. If you don't mind doing that, and that would be nice. So, the rest of us did that. So, would you?
Yeah. My name is Ravi. I work for TCS. I'm working as agile coach. So process-wise, okay, I just wanted to learn something technically on the tools perspective.
I am another software developer who might be one in a month and a half.
Okay, that's good.
Hi, my name is Saidan, and I'm working in Amazon as an IT analyst. Had some background of the software development and just coming here to get some grip on this Jenkins things, which is new for me.
Okay. So, sorry, we're going around having some introductions.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so that's...
Yeah, no, that's great. So my name's Stephen Revel. I'm CEO of a company called Urban Tide.
Okay.
So we have a big data for smart cities platform. We do analytics and data sharing with the platform. So we've got Docker within our solution. And I guess I'm here to learn a little bit, but I'm not technical, so I'm also here to meet people because we're looking to expand the business and get investment, so we're looking to expand the team. So for me, it's about meeting people.
Perfect.
Learning a little bit.
Learning a bit. So just to manage the expectations, this is introductions to Jenkins. Okay. So second slide. Introductions. Go on. Yep. That's me and Lee. So basically what we are going to do, the format of the presentation is, I'm going to go through a number of slides which are very basic. We're going to go through how to install Jenkins in a bare metal box. We're going to go through how to do that in Jenkins with some screenshots. Then we're going to add some users. We're going to add some jobs. We're going to add some Jenkins jobs, and we're going to add some nodes, okay, and everything else that needs to in between. And then we're going to have a break. We're going to have some more beer and pizza, and then the plan is to go through and live demo whatever we're going to discuss in the first part of the presentation. Okay. So let's start. So first, I would like to point out. So why would we use Jenkins? It would be nice. It wouldn't be nice to start talking about how to install Jenkins without just having a couple of use cases. Okay, we are all in the development arena or in the area of development one way or the other. So basically, these are the most basic life cycle or stages we go through. So we will say commit. It means that you have a code and you commit in any version control tool like Git or SVN or anything else. So you build the first one is the simplest one that you can see in most environments. You test and then you deploy in any environment. So that takes 2 hours. If you have, it depends on the tests that you have. Different tests, unit functional load, acceptance test, any test that you have, and then you deploy. So, or you can have the second scenario, which is a bit more complex. You can still have unit tests to see if what you build breaks or not, and then you can deploy having the load test running every night to see what if any you broken. So these are, these are the two scenarios. You can, with Jenkins, you can have quite a large spectrum of scenarios that you can do, but talking about software development. As I said, yeah, these are most similar. This is another representation of the first scenario we talk about. The developer commits, builds, he runs some tests, and then deploys. So this can be deployed to any environment, including production. So let's see. So let's start by basic. How are we going to install and start Jenkins? So first of all, we're going to Jenkins website. Okay. So this is currently Jenkins website. Click download. You can have lots of different packaging that you can download for Jenkins. The most frequent that you can is you download the WAR, which is the simplest thing to do. Everything that I'm going to demo today is based on Linux. Okay, it's based. I have not. I don't have Windows on this. I don't have Windows at work. So unfortunately, I'm apologizing that all the things that you will see up to now in today's presentation are Linux based. So let's imagine that you download that in a folder, and then you need to install it. Or this is it. You don't have to install it. You just have to run it. So okay, up to now. Yeah. So let's see. So you download this, the Java, the Jenkins WAR, and you have Java because it's a WAR, so you need to run it. And this is one of the most simple commands that you can invoke Jenkins. There's a large number of options that you can use. You can use options to control Java, the heap memory, all the other different options that you have for Java, and then there's a number of options that you have for Jenkins. I used the HTTP port to make sure that the default port is 8080. You can use HTTPS as well. If you put HTTP port -1, you disable HTTP, so people have to use always HTTPS. So so you run that. As you see, I run it as root. You can run it as something more sensible like Jenkins, but root is fine. No, it's not fine, but I have root just now. So you run it, and the first, it starts unpacking the var. What you do, you basically create an empty folder called Jenkins, you put the var inside and you run it. So if you do that in bare metal, it will start unpacking the jar, it will create the folders that it needs to create, including a temp folder and a web folder, and it's going to start unpacking everything that's in the var. And one of the important things that you need to remember is this line here. This is the first initial password, which is a once-off password that you have to use to complete Jenkins installation. Okay, so don't delete it or anything, because then you have to run it all over again. So basically what it does is, we'll see in the next slide what you do. So this is running, it stops there and it waits for you to go to the next slide. So just now we go to HTTP port 9090 and we'll see that. Okay, I don't have most of the screenshots, I don't have the entire web page because it's saves some space, and you can see bigger fonts, so you can see exactly the point of the slide. So what you do, you copy and paste that in here, and you press enter or you press continue. So this is a one-time authentication to make sure that you are. So the guy that installing the Jenkins is the same guy that is going to cut the installation. So moving on from that, so you see something like that. This page is the first page that Jenkins is trying to connect to a repository that has all the basic plugins or the default plugins that it needs for Jenkins to work. As you can understand, I didn't get loads of different screenshots of the same bar going up to the end, but that's what happens. You know, it's as you see here, all these plugins installed, and goes through all these. You either need to have an internet network connectivity to the outside so you can find the plugins, or you can host a Jenkins repository internally if you are in an environment that it's difficult, you don't have access to the outside world. So, any questions up to now? Anyone? Yep.
Can we also use apt-get install command for installing Jenkins here?
Yep, you can use, if you remember the initial download, you can use RPM, you can use any of the different packages that Windows, you can use, is it MSI? I think it's MSI for Windows. You can download everything.
So for Linux, it's if it is
RPM, Debian.
Yeah, if it's in Ubuntu.
Yes.
Apt-get installed.
Yeah, I think so. Yes. Okay. Yes. But the war has the fewer dependencies. That's why I use that, because it doesn't. what I showed you up to now, you're going to see almost the same output. Either you're going to do it in Windows environment command line or Linux environment command line. That's why I did that. And it's nothing hidden. If you use a packager, then you probably won't see some of the messages, some of the things when you run it the first time.
Okay, so you're doing all this in a VM, virtual machine?
Just now, yes. I did that in a Linux VM.
Okay.
Okay. So when this process, any other questions? No. Excellent. So this is a bit painful, but you have to wait for all of this to finish, and then and then you get a small message saying finished, ready to use it, and that's it. And you can see this is the first a Jenkins instance with no users, and you can start configuring it if you have a clean installation. So, any questions up to now? We just went through the very simple installation of Linux, of Jenkins in command line. So now I think I have similar screenshots, but I use Docker. Okay, so let's. If nobody has any other questions, we can go through and see how we're going to do that in Docker. So as you see, it's similar root. Again, I'm in the same folder. It doesn't have to be. You don't need any folders. But instead of using the var, I'm using Docker run. Okay, so what? I don't know if everybody knows Docker or you're familiar with Docker and what it does. Basically, this box that I was using for it was connected to the internet. Yes, it was, and I'm pulling the latest Jenkins. So Docker is a container framework that allows you to run, as I said, different containers without contaminating the environment. So it is really cleaner and easier to run applications. So what I say here is you run Docker, you name it, you give it a name if you like, Dockerized Jenkins. The ports, there are 2 ports. If you remember, previously I gave 9090. Now as I said, the default port is 8080 for Jenkins. So I ask this command to use 9095, and 50,000 is for connecting the slaves that the nodes that we're going to talk about later. And I also exposed the VM file system, so we'll keep the configuration when we go through. And then I say I want Jenkins. So what it does, Docker goes to Docker Hub, knows that and if there is something that's called Jenkins container there, it pulls it. As you see here, it downloads the chunks, and if I didn't want, it wasn't much of a point of giving different screenshots, so it goes, downloads everything, and pulls them all, puts them all together, and then it runs it with the parameters. Everything goes okay, it runs. So if you remember, you get the same first-time password as well. If you run Docker not as a daemon, so you get this, and it's exactly the same process. So you go through this process again, you paste the password here, and that's it. Okay, these are 2 different things. So if you want to see if it's running or not, you say Docker PS, and as you see, I did that after exactly after this finished, so you can see it's 50 seconds. It's up and running. The 2 ports that I asked Docker to do, the name and the image is Jenkins. So, are you familiar with that a bit? Docker, yeah. So that way you can run. For instance, if you want to run 3 different Jenkins, you can have different ports, and you can have Docker running. As long as you have enough memory, you can knock yourself out. So one of the first things that when you run for the first time, one of the first things that you see is create first admin user. So I did that, and we will see that later when we go through the live demo. It's pretty straightforward. You put password, full name. I don't even know if you need. You can put whatever you like here. As long as you remember the username and the password, you go through. And that's the same page that we've seen before. So